you write on the front cover of your book, we can read, neither Kaiser Wilhelm nor Adolf Hitler wanted war. Both World War I and World War II were thrust upon Germany by the Allied powers. Germany's great sin was emerging too late as a consolidated nation-state and upsetting the long-established balance of power scheme in Europe. The already established great powers, Britain, France, and Russia, joined together in 1914 to destroy this new rival. Tell us a bit about what kind of... I mean, it's a fairly young nation at that point, right? We're not, of course, in Weimar Republic yet. That's after, World War I. But how did Germany kind of come together before World War I?
Yeah, as I said, Germany was kind of a geographical expression. Central Europe was populated by German-speaking, blonde-haired ethnic Germans, but they were just a multiplicity of little sovereign entities, principalities, estates, and so forth. And Prussia went to war with France, actually, the Franco-Prussian War. France declared war on Prussia, and Prussia won the war. And as a consequence, France was required to pay reparations, and and Prussia took the two French provinces of Alsace and Lorraine, and made them part of Germany. And then he pulled all the German states together and consolidated into the modern state of Germany. Now, Prince Metternich, back in the Congress of Vienna in 1815, after the Napoleonic Wars, had worked out this balance of power scheme for Europe to keep the peace. And all the powers in Europe recognized each other, each great power, and they recognized the spheres of influence of each of these powers. And then come along Germany, which had not existed as a nation state before, and they emerged in 1871 as this superpower of 65 million people, bigger than any other European except for Russia, and immediately they are a power to be reckoned with. And Great Britain had grown accustomed to being the superpower of the world at that point. It had been so for a century and a half. It dealt with France already and put France in their place. And Britain was accustomed to being the superpower, and they were never going to permit an accumulation of power on the continent of Europe, which would rival their own power. And suddenly here was Germany, which began to grow exponentially after the consolidation in 1871. They began to outdistance everybody else in manufacturing and technology and science, chemistry, pharmaceuticals, everything. And this caused consternation in Great Britain, and the leaders of Great Britain began to talk about having a war with Germany, to put Germany in her place. Now, the Germans didn't want war. They were succeeding fantastically, and they wanted anything but a war. They were creating an empire of their own down in Africa that was emulating those other European empires. They were building a navy to facilitate the empire. And they were taking over markets that had been British markets for a long time. And so this was kind of unsettled or destabilized the old balance of power. And that's where we were in, say, 1914.